do different from the normal classical technical analysis is basically we provide the forecasting analysis, and Elliott wave is one of the method which you can forecast as compared with the other technical analysis. So this is the one thing you are going to get over the Insider Club, and we cover all the major market like global market, also global equity, Indian equity market, bond market, currencies market, commodities market. So over there, you can get a mix of all, what exactly is happening overall, in the asset class, and you can get an idea that where should be the best actionable, trade setup is. Apart from that, we have, couple of products. First is the wave, value wave. Over there, we provide a long-term investment or, opportunity or long-term investment ideas through the wave counts. Then we have the momentum investment. That is the, we provide similar kind of a thing, but, for a short-term investment. Then lastly, we have the trade setup. Over there, we provide both side opportunities. Either it's long or either it's short. And with the mix of, wave count, with the mix of different analytical approach, we provide these kind of analysis. So you can get all those analysis on the, Insider Club. Apart from that, we have also, one of the most demanded, thing that we do on the weekend, that basically the Rohit sir provide the weekend with India chart. Over there, you can get an, overall idea that what exactly is happening in the, on the weekend, and what kind of opportunities you are going to get from this, analysis. So you can, all those detail you are going to get on this weekend with India chart and analysis. Apart from that, you are also going to get so many learnings on the wave count, so many different type of analytical approach with and live session as well with the Rohit sir as well. So this is a complete package you are going to get with the India chart. And I guess we are the only, few of the only, people in India we do this forecasting analysis, and which is highly demandable as well. So with this, I end my, thing. So this is what we do in the India chart. So if you like it, do, check our website as well.
Okay, thank you so much, Dhiren. Thank you so much for taking us through what is exactly India Charts Insiders. Now, without wasting any time, let's just move on. Now, we all know that who is going to address it, but I'll just like to introduce sir in a few words. So, Rohit Srivastava is a market veteran and technical analyst with over 3 decades of experience in deeply analyzing market structure and momentum. He is the founder of India Charts and Strike Terminal as well, an analytic platform designed to bring advanced accessible market analysis to Indian traders. So we all know that his most notable contribution to technical analysis is the creation of the Rohit Momentum Indicator, that is RMI, developed over 20 years ago. The RMI is a proprietary tool available exclusively on the Strike platform. So we all know that the market goes through different cycles, bubbles, crashes, panics, and powerful rallies as well. So over the last 30 years, Rohit sir has navigated all of them, and today he'll be addressing some of the important points as well. So, sir, a very good morning and over to you.
Thank you, Sakshi. Good morning, everyone, on this Sunday, and very happy to have everyone participate. The key learnings that you're going to take away today, like you were just told, is going to be understanding the RMI indicator. How do we use it across time frames, the multi-time frame approach, and scanning to find trade setups and ideas in terms of what you should execute. So we can really pinpoint from thousands of stocks, come down to the 5 or 6 ideas where we need to get our focus. That is the power that it really brings to you because of what Strike has done, because we already had RMI. In fact, it's not 20, it's actually 30 years ago, around 1995, 96, where I started to experiment and come up with the initial indicator. And it went through 1 or 2 changes. After that, it has remained the same since, I think, 1999. So that's a long period, almost 25 years of it remaining the same formulation, tested across markets, timeframes, commodities, equities, currencies. And the perspective I'll bring to you is multi-time frame approach to finding stocks, right? But first, we need to understand how to use the RMI. Those who are new to it or still have doubts, that is what we'll cover. And then I'll have the specific strategy that I've been trying everybody to learn and use, which is a combination of our near-term swing indicator with RMI for picking up option trades, specifically Nifty option trades with a very high accuracy ratio. Even in this, so-called volatile market, you'll see that it has sort of picked all the highs of the market in the last, month or two. And that's exactly what we want you to be able to do. It is so simple that you will feel that it is stupid. That's how simple it is. And if you're not doing it, you're missing out on the opportunity to buy Nifty options and make money. That's why are you missing that opportunity? You're missing that opportunity because the market and regulators have told you that everybody is losing money in the F&O market. The reason people lose money is singular. The singular reason is you don't have a method. You don't have a method of timing the market. You believe you want to time, but you're not really following any tools or indicators. You're just using your gut feel, which is not good enough. And then if you're trying to develop a sentiment insight, which is that what is everybody thinking about the market, you're depending on the five friends that you speak to. And if all of them are bullish or bearish, you're taking that side of the market. You're trying to think that, oh, this is what it means, which is again not good enough, because what you really need in sentiment is to be able to study the entire market data and then determine whether everybody is long or short, bullish or bearish. And the swing indicator is one of the shorter term ones, which is why we use it for options trading. There are many other sentiment indicators on the Strike platform meant for even long term investors who can actually pick the market from an investment perspective. When is the right time to invest? Maybe I'll show you one which is glaring at us right now, and why some of you on social media have been hearing me sound slightly optimistic, even though we have not reached 19,000. Yeah, there's the 19,000 crowd that is after me. But that was, yes, that was an important indication to highlight how bad things can get. Well, things have gotten bad, but have they gotten bad enough is also an important insight. So I'll drop an insight on that as well, since it's an important market turning point. So let's start with the RMI. I think you already know about Strike and research a lot in detail from Sakshi. I'm not going to go there over and over again, but basically India Charts is India Charts Research. Okay, so India Charts Research is now a SEBI registered research analyst, and all the products under the India Charts banner come under that. So that is the great news for you all, which is why we are able to put out detailed recommendations with targets, etc., which is permitted there. One thing we are not allowed to do is crypto. So a lot of people still keep asking, why don't you have an update on Bitcoin or something like that? Well, I look at it as a liquidity indicator. We are not really permitted to publish on that, but we are allowed to publish everything else. So all commodities, currencies, equities, that is fine. So with that, the RMI indicator, and so let me start sharing my screen so that we can actually go to that place, and essentially fast and noiseless signals are what we are all always looking for, and that's what the RMI really provides. Now, when you visually look at it, I always think of the RMA as a sine wave. The reason I think of it as a sine wave is that I like to see indicators that are cyclical in nature. Like it should go up, it should come down, it should go up, it should come down, and each thing is a cycle. So we all know about cycles: 2-year cycles, 4-year cycles, 5-year cycles. But if you have tried to look at those type of cycles, you also know that the 2-year cycle doesn't always work, the 21-day cycle doesn't always work, 21 becomes 30, and so on. What's more important is being with the right side of the trend, right? So trend following is real. As much as I'm known for Elliott wave analysis, trend following is real, but what is a good trend following indicator? So I found the MACD to be lagged. I found the ROC to be noisy, and I needed to, use, of course, you have to use existing math only to come up with something that is better and works across time, takes care of multiple cycles. And that's sort of where I got into developing this initially after looking at various volatility indicators. So I needed something that moves in cycles, and I think the RMI, as the name suggests, momentum indicator. Okay, even though I've put my name to it, momentum indicator means we are measuring the momentum. So I call these momentum cycles. Momentum cycles can have different time period variations. They can also have different amplitude. So amplitude can also be very high. It can go all the way up before coming down. And as long as it is going up, we are in that trend. And then when it comes back down, the cycle completes. There's also this midline. We call this the zero line, because all momentum, like even if you do rate of change, right, all momentum, or if you do MACD, which is the difference between two averages, at some point of time, all momentum comes back to the zero line, which means momentum becomes flat. See, even if prices are going up, say let's take an example, prices go up, okay, and then they stop going up, they consolidate for a while. They may consolidate in a nice downward channel, and then they move up again. While this is happening, what happens to momentum? Now, momentum is a measure over a certain period of time. Okay. And so when you measure momentum, what you'll find is that momentum goes up while prices are going up. But when prices even consolidate, even though they have not all the way gone back down, the momentum goes all the way back down. And that is why we use the zero line to determine whether it's gone back down enough. This is a very important concept central to using the RMI properly. And I think the zero line concept also works very well with the RMI, better than the MACD. In fact, our buy sell signals also come at least 3 days or 4 days before the MACD actually gives it to you. So we have a advantage in terms of early signaling. We have an advantage in terms of less noise and across time frames. Okay, and being able to capture these cycles. So sometimes some of the other indicators, they won't come back to zero. They'll just move up again. But here, when we combine multiple cycles, we are able to actually look at something which comes back to zero time and again and allows you to, realize that a cycle is complete. It's very, very important. So there's a zero line concept to this, that we want the indicator to come back to zero before we can say that a new cycle has started. So this is one basic important concept that you actually learn. So let's again understand the plotting of the indicator first on a flat chart, and then we'll probably look at it in real, because there are some what we say nuances to seeing this in actual real time. Okay. So here we are looking at the RMI indicator. Okay, so this is the zero line is the first thing I've drawn. The black is the zero line. And then the RMI indicator, typically I like to plot it in green. So you see it on strike as a green indicator, which is going up and down. Sometimes it will even go like this. Okay. And then we have plotted a second line, which is the 9-day average of this indicator. Now, this is common, right? We all know that most momentum indicators have a 9-day exponential average of the indicator itself. The purpose of that 9-day exponential average is to get buy and sell signals. So every time there's a crossover, we get buy and sell signals, right? So when there's a crossover like this, it's a buy signal. When there's a crossover like this, where the green goes below the average, it's a sell signal. And then again, there's a buy signal. Now, what is important about these buy sell signals over here is that what are the most important buy signals? Which are the ones I'm going to pay attention to? The answer is the one that occurs after the green has come back to the zero line. So we're getting a little more into the concept. I'm sure most of you have used an indicator at some point of time. So when you see this crossover, yeah, that's a buy signal, that's a sell signal. We all know that. But the importance of in between buy sell signals. So when you see the right hand side, what I have drawn is you have multiple buy and sell signals happening here. There's a sell here, then there's a buy here, then there's a sell here, then there's a buy here. What do we do with these? The answer is nothing. We don't do anything. Why do we do nothing? Because these signals did not come before this green line came back to zero. So it's very, very important that the signals that we are going to pay attention to are those only after the green line comes back to zero. So here the green line comes back to zero. After this, any buy signal is good enough. What does that mean? You don't necessarily have to wait for a buy which is coming from below zero. You can also be in a situation where the green line goes down, touches zero, turns up, and you get a bullish crossover over here itself. Is this a reliable buy signal? The answer is yes. It is reliable because the green indicator touched zero. Okay, just touching zero is sufficient to say that the previous cycle is complete and now this is a new signal and a new cycle that will go on. But these which have occurred before the green line touched zero, which happened only over here, are not to be looked at. They're supposed to be ignored because the cycle is still going on. And most probably when you actually look at price, okay, so when we actually start looking at the underlying price of the stock, what you will find is prices are still they're still going up, 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 up. And then they consolidate for a while. Okay. Then again, they start going up over here. Even when this is going down here, even till this point, sometimes they will go up and then they will start coming down. So that is why we don't pay attention to the false signals that occur before the zero line, because prices might still extend. Okay, I hope this part of the concept is clear with everyone. We'll take questions at the end so that we can actually complete the discussion and make it very, very clear. So let me now, take this again on a blank slate so that you can actually get a little more perspective. There we have the zero line. And what I just mentioned, I'm going to try and do that, which is that you can have a situation where this simply comes down here, even then continues, it even does this. This is a very, very real situation. It actually happens. Okay. And in that you get a buy signal, then you get a couple of whipsaws, and then it comes down. So this is the real buy signal. This is noise. So how do we deal? So this is very important. So it does a couple of things for you. First of all, it gives you patience. One of the complaints that I have from most traders is, sir, how do we get patience? How do we know that we should wait for longer? Why can't we buy now? Stock is running away. And the simple answer is that if you don't wait, you don't get to buy the pullback, because that's what you're really supposed to do. You're just buying FOMO, fear of missing out. And the way to control that is follow this with great discipline. That if you have not really completed a cycle, you don't want to take the next trade. You want to take the next trade only after the cycle is complete. And then when you get a bullish crossover, that you want to buy into. So you have to patiently wait for this. And this can be on any time frame. It doesn't matter whether you're looking at a daily chart, weekly chart, monthly chart, or even an hourly chart if you're trading intraday for a 2-3 day kind of time frame, or even on very lower time frames. This will help you in having patience, having discipline, because you're always waiting for the right time. Now, while you're doing this waiting, what also additionally helps is that how do we know when to get out? So that's a question people ask. Okay, the trend is still up over here. So which means when we look at the underlying price, what ends up happening to the underlying price is that it is still going up. So prices are going up, then they're again going up, and then they pull back, and then they're again going up. What we find useful there in terms of trend confirmation, and this is something almost everybody would know, is using either a trend line, okay, or a moving average. Yeah, a trend line or a moving average break to confirm the momentum reversal is what really helps us get the final stage of the sell signal. So when you get this sell signal, and this sell signal gets followed by an actual price break over here, this is the actual sell or exit. I should say it's not a sell actually. It's not a short selling signal. This is an exit. I'll tell you how we define short selling. So that's different. Right now, let's just look at the buy and the exit. Okay, very simple. The buy is clearly on a new cycle, and the exit is on a confirmed breakdown, both from momentum and price action. However, you can define that price action. I said you can use a trend line, you can use a moving average. However, you define price action, confirming momentum, that's your sell and exit. Not all the whipsaws in between, not all this. That's all the noise. Now, this is presuming that we are in a bull market. If we were on a bear market, we would do exactly the opposite of this. Okay. But how do we decide whether the trend is bullish or bearish? How do we decide this? Some of you will be expecting abhi Elliott wave ka gyan dene wala hai. I know it's not easy for everyone. Not everybody is an Elliott wave practitioner, so I will not go there. The simple answer is by going to the RMI. So we are talking about RMI here on a higher time frame. So this part everybody knows, but it's just that you don't have it in your plan. It's not like an executable strategy. The higher time frame tells us the trend. The lower time frame is the execution. Write this down, memorize it, probably print it on a piece of paper and put it in front of you in front of your computer. The higher time frame is the trend. The lower time frame is the execution. Let me repeat that. The higher time frame is the trend, the lower time frame is the execution. So if I'm really looking at doing positional trading where my holding period for a stock is say 1.5 month, 2 month max, then what is the time frame I would use? The answer is weekly with daily. The weekly chart would tell me the trend. The daily chart would give me the signals, just like I've shown over here, the buy and sell signal. So if the weekly RMI is bullish, I would want to buy on the daily RMI cycles every time, again and again and again. Now, if I say no, I'm a shorter term trader, I only trade for 5, 6 days, 10 days max. I don't want to hold on to anything beyond 5 to 10 days. Then you have a lower time frame combination. Same idea, same story, but now you're not using weekly and daily. Now you're using daily and hourly. So you use a daily chart along with an hourly chart. The daily time frame is the trend, the hourly chart is the execution. So there's always an application of 2 time frames minimum. I'm not saying you can't look at 3 time frames, but there's a 2 time frame application at the minimum to find executable trades in a particular direction. Because the direction comes first. You have to decide whether you want to take bullish trades or bearish trades. That has to happen upfront. You cannot decide that later on. Once you have decided whether you want a bullish or bearish trade, then on the lower time frame, you search for the execution of that bullish and bearish trade. Right? So it's a simple 2-step formula of being able to do that. Now, you'll say, okay, now there are thousands of stocks. How do we really find the stocks that fit this parameter? So now let us go to actual charts. Okay, so I'm going to go to Strike Money. Strike Money is where you get the RMI and you get actual charts. Okay. So what you do over here is you can actually pick any stock you want. If you want Reliance Industries, you pick Reliance, and you go to the chart. When you go to the chart on Reliance Industries, you see something populating. On the right hand side, you have the chart, which already has moving averages and the RMI indicator plotted on top of it. And on the left hand side, you have the data analysis of that itself. Because some people are not comfortable looking at, oh, this green went below the red. Is this a sell signal? It says over here, new sell signal. So now you know, yes, it is a new sell signal. Nobody has to tell you. It's already mentioned. Okay. If you're using the 20-day average, you have the 20-day average here with an arrow, which is showing whether the average is actually going up or down. And then we have something known as the Dow trend indicator, which is classic Dow theory. Classic Dow theory is what? A series of higher highs and higher lows is an uptrend. So when prices move up, moment they move higher, it's an uptrend, which is a series of higher highs and higher lows. So moment an uptrend is happening, you see a green arrow. Moment it turns into a downtrend, which means it starts making lower lows and lower highs, which is what has happened here, right? Reliance fell a lot, breaking all the previous lows, and the arrow turned to a red, which is that the Dow theory based trend reading went negative. So it's telling you the RMI reading, the Dow trend reading, it's telling you a moving average, which you can use to confirm whether the RMI signal is an extension or not, just what we just talked about. Whether the existing signal is a false signal or should you just hold on to your long position, is whether you actually break this key support. So that's what we call as the Rohit trade setup, is this combination of things. And then there's a last thing, which is using multi-time frame. Now for multi-time frame, if you're just looking at the chart, you will have to switch between daily and weekly. Okay, so if you're doing a single security, you look at the daily, you look at the weekly. In this case, you can see that Reliance weekly has been in sell since the start of January, 5th of January. And on the daily chart, we are once again getting a sell signal here. We've had a couple of sell signals. We had one here on the 6th of Jan along with the weekly. We had a second one here on the 18th of Feb, and we got one just on Friday. Okay, so each one on a different, and if you go to the hourly, you can see the lower time frame as well. So you can switch between these and look at it. You can do this for any individual stock or index, but that's when I am trying to look at individual stock or index. How about being able to scan for ideas where I can trade today? So for that, what we have done is we've created something known as the RMI scanner. You come into scanner. Now you will find that I have all these options open on top. How did I get these options open on top? These are just tabs like any browser. And to open the tabs that you want to use, and they'll stay open all the time, you have Strike open. Okay, whatever you're using will stay up there just like in a browser. But you have to open them from the left hand side. So if you see, these are the main menus. We've not put it on top. We've kept it on the left so that we can save space for you to have your drawings. And here you have scanners in the discover section. If you go to the second one, you have sentiment indicators, which we will also use for the option strategy. So I have that open already up here. But just showing you that how do you open these is all on the left hand side menu. So I've opened scanners. Scanners, the first scanner here is known as the RMI scanner. This is very important. This is what we are going to use to find investment ideas. So when you use the RMI scanner, you find a couple of options over here. First is the basket. The basket is which basket do you really want to use. You can choose any Nifty 50 or whatever. Say, okay, I want to know buy sell signals only on the Nifty 50 stocks. I don't want to go outside Nifty 50. Then fine, I scan only on the Nifty 50. I have a live mode. Live mode means that I look at signals that are happening today. Now you'll understand that better when we actually do a scan. I'll tell you why I'm using live mode. Okay, and then whatever I've chosen shows up here. So you have also chosen an FNO basket earlier. So I'll remove that. The FNO basket is useful when you're trying to look for shorts, right? Because the only way you can go short is in futures and options. So these are two important things that you need to check on, which is the basket and whether you're live. Now there are also watch lists. So you can actually run the RMI scanner on your personal watch lists. How do you create your personal watch list? You simply go to the home page. Okay. And on the home page, you'll find there's a market overview and there's a watch list. Overview allows you to use standard, watch lists of indices. And the watch list section allows you to create custom watch lists. So you can actually create a custom watch list of your own stocks. Even if we scan something under the scanner, we can save it as a custom watch list for tomorrow for doing an additional scan on it. So you can have your own watch list to run on. Right now, what we'll do is we'll run on the Nifty 50 only in live mode. Now, live mode is important because I want to know where the signals will come today, right? I don't want to trade on yesterday's signals. Why don't I want to trade on yesterday's signals? So there's a back test that was done, in any backtesting, book, or you may have read various research papers, a backtesting done based on what happens overnight. Say, for example, in fact, I was running a long short fund at Sharekhan. I worked there for 18 years, for those of you who don't know. And I was running portfolio management services since 2006 based on a model on the Nifty. And when I did backtesting on that model, what I found is that if I take the execution price as the closing price of today, so it used to give buy sell signals on daily prices. So if I use the today's closing prices where I get the signal. So if market closes at X, then I'll get a buy or a sell. Now say I got a sell today. When should I execute? Should I execute when I get the sell signal today itself? Because it's coming on closing. So you may say, yeah, I have to wait for the market to close. So which means I can execute it tomorrow morning. But I said, no, let me test. What if I execute it today by judging that I'm going to get the closing at this particular level where the signal gets triggered between 3:15 and 3:30? Or should I wait for tomorrow morning? And when I did that back test, I found that my returns, if I don't execute it today, drop by 50%. Which means if my backtesting module on no cost, no leverage, nothing was showing me a return of say 43, 45%, it dropped to 20% if I buy tomorrow morning. I know in the last month you've seen a lot of times market gapping down, Nifty opening gap down, gap down, gap down repeatedly. And you may have realized that the biggest gains are made in gap down. And that is exactly what this backtest also reveals, that the biggest gains and losses are given away in overnight moves. So if you're not executing your signals on time, which is on the day when you're getting the signal, then you're giving up on the trending moves and the gains that you might make in overnight. Just by not executing on time, you're given up half the return. So this is a very important fact. I know many times people feel अरे सिग्नल पे बाय करते हो पहले उल्टा होता है. For all those guys, बाद में जब सीधा होता है वो तो आप मिस आउट कर देते हो. So end में the result is the same because it's tested. So it's not about what happens tomorrow. It's like we are trying to take a positional trade when we are looking at daily prices. Now, if you're doing hourly, it's a different ball game. So for having this live mode was for that purpose, that if I want to execute today, means I want to know which signals are coming today. So I can actually, even at 2:30, I can run this and I can say, where are the new buy signals? These are the new buy signals that came. Now, of course, today is Sunday, so it's taking the data based on Friday's closing. But if I ran this at 2:30 also, I could come to know where the new buy signals are possibly coming and then be prepared. So prepared means what? I will look at each of the charts. I will look, and if I click on daily, they'll open daily charts. If I click on weekly, it will open the weekly, monthly, it will open the monthly chart. So I can actually do a cross-section analysis also on a click of a button, and I can see where the buy signals are coming in different stocks at a click of a button. And since I have only 5-6 trades coming out of 50, it's easier to do analysis on these 5-6 trades. I can see which of these buy signals are coming from below the zero line. So those are the ones where I might want to actually execute. Some of them might not come from below the zero line, but it looks like today, at least yesterday, because markets have fallen quite a bit, all the signals we are getting here are after green has gone below zero. So that one condition is at least met. But that scan I can do very, very quickly now on a smaller list of stocks. That's what we have been able to come down to by doing this scan. And I can execute today, right? Because I know at 2:30 ki where the signals are coming. At 3:30 when I check again, it's possible that out of 7 stocks, there are only 3 left. वो बाकी 3 गिर गए. And so उसमें buy आया ही नहीं. But fine, at least I knew where to look. I could do my research beforehand. I had 2 hours to prepare कितना capital लगाना. I don't have to think in 10 minutes. And I can execute today. So I tell everybody to execute today, not to execute tomorrow morning, because gap हो गया तो miss हो गया. उसके बाद chance नहीं मिलेगा. So you have to get in, get out of your trades. If you're short, these buy signals are telling you to get out of your shorts. If you're long, it's telling you to get out of your longs, etc., etc. So whatever the signal means to you, it's giving it. Now, what did we learn at the beginning of the session? We learned about a 2 time frame method. Can we use a 2 time frame method here to scan stocks? The answer is yes. We have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 buy signals, but how many of them have a weekly buy? You can see there's only one. And I can actually set this up because see, this was a small basket. I could look at it quickly. I can say weekly, whatever is in buy or whatever is in new buy. But on daily, I only want new buy. Which are the stocks? Now I've done a 2 time frame scan just the way we learned some time back. कि weekly का trend क्या है, daily में वही buy करना है. So there's only one stock out of Nifty 50, which is Apollo Hospitals, which has given this combination. Where the weekly trend is in up because it has already moved up. Note, even though the market is making a new low, you can see that this stock is not making a new low. That means fund managers like it. They are buying the dip on this because it's defensive, right? Hospital तो आप जाओगे ही नहीं, war से क्या लेना देना है. So it did go below, it went slightly below 61% retracement. You can go to the daily chart and check. It didn't close below 61% retracement and it is bouncing back. You know, if we were wave theorists, what would we say? We would say wave 1 and 2. You'd say 1, 2, 3 shuru hone wala hai. Okay, but here we are not applying that. We are saying use simple RMI cycles to determine the same thing. So when you can see this stock, you can sort of, you're ready. Ki this is 61%. It's giving me a buy signal. Why don't I buy this instead of some other thing which is at 52-week lows and I'm trying to buy an underperforming stock and trying to say कि ये bank bottom हो जाएगा rather than buy something that is outperforming. That's the whole point, isn't it? I'm sure everybody would say yes. If you feel so, you can put it in the comments. Yes. A lot of people make you do those stupid things, but I will not make you do that. Please don't put it in the comments. I don't want hundreds of yeses, but you know the answer. Okay, so if you don't feel so, you can ask me later when we do the Q&A. But why wouldn't you want to buy something that is outperforming? And that's sort of what a 2 time frame scan does. Because if the weekly is already bullish, it's already ensured that the trend is changing. And on the daily, we are buying something on a different time frame. Now, if you're doing a long short market, you may say that नहीं नहीं long नहीं करना है मेरे को. Market is crashing, war, Iran war, पता नहीं है क्या? So fine, we go to the FNO basket, run the same thing. Except we are looking for shorts. So we run the same thing on an opposite basis. We say what is sell and new sell on weekly. And am I getting new short signals on the weekly chart? Probably not. Probably yes. Who knows? Wow. There are 5 new short signals on the weekly daily combination, but they may not be zero line sell signal. See, this is a zero line sell signal where the RMI went above zero and gave a sell over here, right? We've learned the concept that in a bullish, we wait for, if this was a buy signal, we wait for it to come down and give a fresh buy. But if it is bearish, where the larger trend is down, it is making a lower top and giving a fresh sell signal here, then that sell signal should come after RMI has gone to zero and then falling again to give a sell signal. So in the short side, we do exactly the opposite of what we learned. That is, and because we learned it for the buy side. Now on the sell side, we'll do the opposite. We'll look for sell signals that come from above the zero line. So now out of all these 6 sell signals, how many are coming from the zero line today? So Phoenix, no, it's far below. It's a continuation signal, continuation. Mostly there'll be continuation signals, except for it looks like Reliance Industries. Reliance Industries is the only one here which is coming from above the zero line. So there's some danger here. I don't know how much danger. We could have a different view. Does every signal that we get like this work out? Of course not. Nothing works 100% of the time, but I can tell you that it will work far more often than not. Okay. See, when you standalone use a single indicator and then we try to combine, we'll go to the combination and for options later. When you combine it with sentiment, you can push up your performance ratios to 70-80%. When you're standalone using something without sentiment and purely using a momentum indicator, you might find that it works 50% of the time, 60% of the time, but possibly 50-55 se zyada kai baar. If you just do a backtest type of run, yes, no, yes, no. But in a trending market, you'll find it works more often because you have a trend. So like right now, if we say the larger trend is down and we are only doing sell signals, it might work much better. So that is why the 2 time frame approach tries to reduce that 50% is when you do a single time frame approach. you can push it up from 50% higher with a two time frame approach. So two time frame approach can get you to 60. But if you want to go from 60 to 70 to 80, you're going to have to use a sentiment combination, which we'll show you in one way powerfully for options short-term Nifty trading. In other time frames, we'll need a completely different session to do. And I did promise that I will show you one sentiment indicator for the long term. So we'll come to that as well. So this is the only signal, like I said, where RMI from above zero is giving a sell signal in Reliance. Even though see the crossover is happening below zero, that's okay. What is important here is that this comes back, touches the zero, and then only you get a sell here. That was the important part, and that has happened in Reliance. So at least it's indicating that there could be downside. How much? That is not told by this. This is not a target giving system. This is an execution system. You execute when you get something. So that's what it tells you. And execute then, which means you had to execute it on Friday. After looking at global markets, you'll say, abhi to pata hi tha. But the thing is in which item, because see, there are sell signals, five signals over here. And I'm telling you the good signal is this one because it comes from the zero line. That doesn't mean the others may not have worked, but that's not what we are trying to do. Okay. Because on the daily, it's already an extension continuation. Now, if you want to, you may say, no, I forget 1 month trade for daily. I want only a short term trade. मुझे 2 दिन का ही सौदा करना है Phoenix में. तो फिर क्या? Then you will need a new sell signal on the hourly. So you'll have to go to the hourly chart, and so here also I can go to hourly, and you can see the hourly sell signal came somewhere here when it started to fall here, and then it fell further after that. After bouncing a bit, it fell further. So if you wanted to execute this on a hourly trade, you would have to follow the hourly RMI over here and then take that trade. But should you do that or not, and how should you do it? And it should be based on a combination of daily and hourly. So if you're looking at a 1 week time frame trade, you'll do the same setup here. You'll say sell and new sell on daily. And on hourly, I want new sell signals. Again, I got only one trade. See, that's how this is. You got only one at Friday evening. And that one is not confirming price action. So you got a sell. It's not started falling yet. So when price doesn't confirm the indicator also sometimes, especially on a very short term time frame, you may want to wait, or you may not, or you can position size. You say if you want to buy 3 lots, buy one and then wait for a further confirmation for prices to actually fall. Because see, here they're trying to also break out of this falling trend line. So wait for an actual price decline below the averages here, and then add more after that. So that type of strategizing you can do. But to get to do that strategizing, first you need to scan. So that scanning processes we've simplified. Remember, FNO basket is 200 stocks. I've given you one idea over here. One idea out of 250 stocks is a pretty good rundown reduction of your work. And that is what Strike really does. It reduces the amount of work you have to do to scanning. I used to have to do this on Metastock and wait for minutes. And if you're a long-term fundamental user of something like Capital Line Ole, it probably take you much longer to get a scan, because first you have to write the script QR, QL code. I've used it for decades for fundamental scanning. Now you can see on the left-hand side, we have many fundamental scans. These are all not yet live to all users. They will become live. So you'll be able to do valuation scanners, shareholding scans, etc. Just like I'm doing for RMI at a click of a button. You see how fast this is. Okay, not that you're waiting for hours or minutes for results to come, you get them instantaneously. That is how this is designed. And that's why we are saying it's far more powerful. You know what? It's far more powerful at a price that you can't believe. So at some point of time, I'm going to tell my team to increase the price. You're not getting this for free. I think the current pricing is like equal to giving it for free. And if you're not using it and making money based on the tools that I'm actually showing you, which are so powerful, then I don't know what is stopping you from going to the next level. I mean, why are you working at a level so low? You need to work at a higher level. So now I'll get to the higher level strategy. See, I've shown you multi-time frame scan. I've shown you the importance, how we do it, whether it's daily, weekly, hourly. If you're a long-term investor, you can do the same thing on a long time frame. You can even simply say, "Arey monthly mein buy kaun sa raha hai, wohi bata do." So you can always say, "Show me on the monthly which are the new buy signals," and you get 3. Monday is the monthly closing. So see, each time frame has to be checked on the time frame it is. Weekly means weekly closing Friday को होता है. Daily means daily closing हर दिन होता है. और अभी हम लोग मंथली क्लोजिंग की बात कर रहे हैं, तो मंथली क्लोजिंग कब होता है? महीने में एक बार, which is tomorrow, the 31st of March, which is fortunately also quarterly closing. At some point, we will add quarterly and hourly scans or lower time frame scans also over here. It's coming up soon on the mobile app as well, which is due to be launched hopefully in the coming month. And so with all of that, you'll be able to do almost anything. But here the monthly signals you're getting are three. So you have an ABB, you have an Aurobindo Pharma, and you have an NTPC. Now, which one do you like? You can decide. Of course, we have different ways to decide that. But at least you are down to three, which means you need to do research on three things only. Now, you can do fundamental research on Aurobindo Pharma and say, okay, technically buy RI fundamental अच्छा है कि नहीं. You can go and check it. So if you want to check the fundamentals, you just click on this. You open the Aurobindo डेटा शीट विच हैज एवरीथिंग फंडामेंटल एफएनओ ऑप्शंस पोजीशन फ्यूचर में कितना लॉन्ग शॉट है क्या सब लोग ने शॉर्ट कर दिया यू कैन चेक दी कंबाइंड ओआई चार्ट सी डाउन हियर व्हाट वाज हैपनिंग prices were going down and open interest was going up. This is essentially a sign that it was excessively shorted down here. And now what you're getting as prices are starting to go up is short covering because prices are going up and open interest is going down. Once you learn this classical thing, you can actually quickly observe whether the stock you're looking at is seeing going through a short covering rally. Also, apart from that, it is a momentum picking up. You're also getting short covering. And then you can, of course, check the fundamentals. Our revenue is growing, looks like it is. Our earnings growing. You can do it on this quick sheet, or you can actually do on an expanded chart where you can look at, tables. You can actually look at tables. And then if you want to look at valuation charts, you can say, okay, what is the valuation? 1 year valuation. I like to look at max. You like to look at 1 year. You can do that on any ratio. Market cap to sales is one of the most popular ratios of current post-COVID bull market. You can see where your stock is relative to that. So it's just come back to median and going up. It's not even at peak M cap to sales, which was around 4 times back here in 2015. We are not there yet. So that sort of gives you confidence on where you are in the overall range. Many stocks cross two standard deviations from certain sectors in this deck in the last 5 years. And those you come to know that, yeah, these are the ones to avoid or probably look for sell signals. So now you say, how do I look at sell signal? ये तो valuation chart है. And so we created something very special where we combine. So in charts, there's something known as a strike valuation setup where you can look at price, valuation, and momentum on the same screen. So RMI is giving a sell signal, valuation is high or low, and price on top, and you're able to compare. Okay, I've quickly given you everything. Now we go to the most important part. I've told you things that were not part of today's session, but I just thought it's an important overview. Most important part, how do we trade Nifty options and make money with a higher probability, right? I want to cross the 50% success ratio. How do we really do that? It is by combining with sentiment. That is what I was saying. So how do we combine and which sentiment indicator would I do? So the combination we are going to use for options trading in Nifty, okay, is that first of all we are not going to buy weekly options. मैं पहले ही बता देता हूँ क्योंकि बाद में बताऊंगा. Usually बाद में बताता हूँ, इस बार मैं पहले ही बता रहा हूँ. Monthly options का इस्तेमाल करेंगे. And the reason for that is that is what works. ओके दैट इज व्हाट वर्क्स क्योंकि हमें समय को समय से डिफीट करना है. व्हाट इज ऑप्शंस? व्हाई डज सेबी से दैट एवरीबॉडी इज लूजिंग मनी ऑन दीज ऑप्शंस? Because everybody is buying weekly options. Weekly options is you're buying 1 week and you're hoping that your view plays out in 1 week. That means you want to be right both on price and time. भाई भगवान तो नहीं हो. You may be right on price, but you may not be right on time. The reason option writers make money is they sell you time. It's like an insurance policy, right? Insurance policy, why insurance companies make money? They sell you time. They say your whole life till you die. And then they take your premium and sit on it. The premium keeps reducing. It's the same thing the option seller is doing. He sells you and then he keeps earning the premium. आप भर रहे हो तो आप भर रहे हो तो आप कैसे जीतोगे? आपको जीतने के लिए इंश्योरेंस पूरे समय के लिए. So buy time, buy life. If you buy a 1 week option, you're dead in 1 week. And that's what ends up happening. And then you're left with no money. So rather than that, you buy a longer time period. So if you think a stock is going to go up in 10 days, buy a 1 month option. Don't buy a 10-day option. Defeat your target with time. So that is one very important concept. You can't succeed in options trading if you are going to buy less time. Because time will kill you and then your view will go right. Then you say, हाँ मैं तो सही था but मेरा पैसा zero हो गया. Okay, so that experience, the only way to end that experience is buy time. You say time लूंगा तो भी zero होने वाला है. Yes, if you don't have a process, that's what I'm teaching you. I'm teaching you the process of timing and buying the right option at the right time. So now listen in. Two-step process, only two indicators. Indicator number one, weekly RMI. Weekly RMI, as you all heard me in the beginning, is my trend indicator. I decide whether it's going up or down. So every time the weekly RMI is bullish or bearish, we will decide to only buy calls or only buy puts. दूसरा कुछ लेना ही नहीं है. ठीक है. So यहाँ पे, this is the 17th of March. You'll have to remember some dates. It went long. After that, I only buy calls. We'll decide when later. 28th of July. After that, we only buy puts. Only buy calls. Only buy puts. And that's still true. Okay. Let's start with this last date, 29th of December. Okay, and what I'm going to do here is I'm going to open strike on one more page. I'm just going to do that to make it a little easier to switch between sentiment indicator. So what we're going to use in sentiment, the second indicator, I said this is going to be a two indicator setup, and that is the daily swing. Okay, so you see there are two over here. One is an average swing and one is a daily swing. So the average swing is essentially a slightly smooth version of the same thing, but we are using the daily swing, which is a little faster, goes up and down fast, because we are trying to trade options here, right? We are trying to fight time. I want a fast indicator. I want one which quickly tells me यहाँ पे बेचना है, यहाँ पे लेना है, and that's the result that I want to really achieve. Just give me. Okay, so I will have one problem at my end, which is because my roads, Mumbai roads are dug up, power will go down for an hour in some time. I have power backup till it lasts. So let's try to quickly finish this and take Q&A so that you don't miss out. And I will have my data backup switched on so that you don't lose me on the power. So I'm just going to switch my internet. Give me a second. Yeah, good. I believe you can hear me. If the chart, then
Yes, sir, we can.
so I just need to wait for this to load again because this is on.
Okay, so sir will be joining with us. I think he's just having a look at his connection. Meanwhile, everyone, there is an interesting offer for everyone, and we'll be sharing the details soon. So I think Rohit sir is back, and yes, we have it. Yes.
Yeah. So here, you can see the swing indicator on my screen. Now, the first date I gave you was the 29th. Okay, 29th of January, which is back here. No, it was the 27th of December, I think. Right? Yeah. 29th of December. So 29th of December is what we are going to stream. It would have worked in any other time frame. This is sort of the most difficult time frame because you had war and you had whatnot and you had the trade deal from year to year. What does it mean? It means number one, I am only allowed to buy puts. I am only allowed to buy puts. The only decision I have to make is when to buy these puts. Answer. Simple. When the swing is above 80 and starts turning down. That's it. That's the answer. When the swing is above 80 and it starts turning down from here, from that 80 level, and when prices also start turning down from there, which you can judge based on either the hourly or daily RMI. If the hourly gives a sell and the daily market closes down from wherever it is, that is the starting point of a downtrend. So when that happens, like it happened here, it was a signal to buy puts. Signal number two to buy puts just before the budget. Signal number three, right after the trade deal, you didn't get much of a fall. Well, if every time you're going to get a crash, then that would be magic. But what comes is consistency. You have to consistently repeat and rinse. Few days back, last week, we had a 3-day bounce in the market. The swing went to 87. What happened after that? In fact, that following Monday itself, it gave up, right? And then just this week on Thursday, this is Thursday, we were reading at 88. And sometimes even I'm also here, I'm starting to, on some of my other indicators, I'm starting to think, oh, we have fallen too far, it may have bottomed out. But this is again telling me sell. So do I take action? If nothing else, I should take hedges, short-term hedges, 2-week, 4-week kind of puts or something. But the point is that as long as the weekly RMI is in sell, I was supposed to buy puts over here. And if I did that almost every time, except here where it fell very little, but it did fall, the size of the fall can vary, but you've always got a decline. So that is the main input over here that I'm trying to give you. So I may have around 20 minutes of power. So I'll take one more example. I'll take an example of an uptrend. I'll take it from back here. Okay, so let's take this period where you had this. So this turned up around the 17th of March. Got a buy signal. What happened after 17th of March? Okay, so after 17th of March, and we simply put, so where is it here? Yeah. After that, every time we have an oversold reading, which means when the swing comes all the way down here, it reached even single digits and then starts to turn up, you want to be buying call options. So that means out here. Then again, repeat here. This is when India-Pakistan war was happening. Sort of this was also the 20-day average, if you remember the trade setup, and you got a low swing and there it ended up bottoming. Okay. Another one was here. This is in the midst of the last Israel-Iran fiasco. The first one last year, which didn't fortunately become a war, outright war. You have another reading here. Now this is after it's gone into sell. So these readings are not important. The important is these ones which came. These are all the buy signals that we got here, here, and here. Okay. So now you got an idea where you're supposed to buy calls. So this way you can go back and you can actually test. This data is there for years. You can go back and test any time period and see does it work. I'm already showing you it works in this time period. I'm just telling you the data goes back for more than a decade to allow you to test all kinds of bullish, bearish phases, corporate tax cut, etc., etc., etc. You can go and test this everywhere. Okay. Now, since I'm running low on power, I've shown you the strategy. It's very simple.
I think Sir has just gotten somewhat disconnected. We know that there is some issue with the connectivity, but do not worry, he'll be joining in some time. So till then, there is an interesting offer for all of you all, and do not forget that. To use that particular offer, as Sir was also mentioning, that it is almost a free. We'll surely be having a Q&A at the end of this particular session, and the offer is this particularly. So you will be getting all under one roof, and hopefully my screen is visible for everyone and you all can see my screen as well. So this is an offer exclusively for all the viewers right now over here. So you can get the best of both worlds. It is an access to Insiders Club Research Advisory plus Strike Analytics in one powerful combo that is only here for 9,999 only. This combo has high conviction research calls from Insider Club, and we also have advanced analytics tools that are available on Stripe. So everyone who wants to subscribe to this can just quickly scan the QR code over here, and at the end I'll also be sharing a link. Through that link also you can subscribe, but it will be much easier for you to scan the QR code over here. So after we have our Q&A session, I'll also again be screening this. So right now, if someone has left to still scan it, you can do it later as well. So I'm stopping the screen share over here, and Sir has joined with us again. And yes, Sir, please, you were saying something.
So I think, I've sort of explained everything. I think we should start taking Q&A because, so that we can get through with this session.
Okay, perfect, perfect. So anyone who has a question can raise their hand over here, and we'll be taking those questions. And please, let's stick to one question, as we are, having some issues with the connectivity. Also, try to be more specific with your question as well. So I'll just unmute over here. So Tushar ji, yahan pe I think you have raised your hand first. So if you could please ask your question.
Yeah. Hello?
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
yes, you're
Tushar,
audible.
go on.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask, is this sentiment indicator also for stocks?
Okay. So the particular indicator I'm showing you, this is the daily and average swing. It is meant to time the market. Okay, so sentiment indicators usually take a complete basket of data. Like in this case, we take a basket of 300 stocks to calculate this indicator. So therefore, it is a
Okay.
market indicator. It is not applicable to individual stocks. You can apply it to any index. So people may say, oh, no, I don't want to trade Nifty. I want to trade Bank Nifty. Yes, you can do that. But you can't do it on Reliance.
Okay, fine. Okay, thank you.
Okay, so it is a market indicator meant to trade indices, basically. Okay. So before I just take the next one, there was one thing I mentioned. I will show everybody
Okay.
from an investment standpoint. There are certain sentiment indicators that give us a slightly bigger view of things. Just give me a second because there is a data slowness of this loading also. Yeah, I got the diffusion. So now, see on this diffusion indicator, I'll show you that if I take a very wide one, which is 200-day moving average, this is known as moving average. Diffusion indicators are also sentiment indicators, just to tell you, but they are useful for some of the longer term or medium term insights. I am taking a very long term one. So the 200 DMA, everyone knows, is commonly used, to know whether the stock is below or above. But what we are checking here is whether a basket of stocks is below or above. I can choose any basket, Nifty 50, mid cap 100. I'll just take the 500 because it has more history and you have a large number of stocks that we are really looking at. So Nifty 500, whenever the number of stocks below the 200-day average reduces, okay, I mean above the 200-day average reduces to like less than 10% or close to or less than 20%, that is when important market bottoms form where you want to start investing. Okay. And the reason I'm showing that is we've sort of started to enter that zone over here. Okay. And it happened the last time over here. The last time over here, it happened in COVID. I can even go back and show you more previous moments. The important thing here is that it has often led to 3 to 6 month gains. Like here it went up, it came down, then it went up a lot more later. But in this case, it went up for 3, 4, 5, 6 months and then came down also. But the point is that it was an important starting point for the coming months. That's how oversold this was. So now you actually go back and see there are various other such points in the past, like there's one here, and this is right here, right? After that, what happened? It was a slow progress. It went on till the general elections of 2019, where the prime minister was voted in again, second time. So that happened in June of 2019. It went up till there from this reading. And then there's another one here. This was before demonetization when the NPA crisis happened. It was down here. This happened, demonetization, then it went up further. But these certain points, this one, this one, this one, these were all identified when things were at an extreme, and we are getting to that type of extreme. So for investors, looking at some simple indicator like this becomes relevant, and we've added many for different time frames. I'm just showing the longest one because at the end of March, we are getting to a point where it looks like, could the worst be over? The war is an overhang, but price-wise, the markets have fallen too much. So that's an important insight. We'll continue with the questions.
Okay, so over here, Avinash Gupta, sir, if you could also ask your question.
Hello, Rohit sir.
Yeah.
So, that thing which the Nifty options one you said even in the last webinar. So, yeah, it is too good to be true. And the only issue that I'm facing is I use Grow, okay, and when I'm trying the monthly options, it says there is a liquidity risk in that option. So, how
What
should I
risk?
go about that? Liquidity risk, it says.
No, liquidity risk is only in weekly options. If you buy a 3 week option like 17th April or something, yes, you will not find liquidity. Monthly options are always liquid. Monthly means end of the month, last week of April, last week of Feb, last week of March. Those are always liquid. I have never found them to be liquid. So if you tell me now 20,
Okay.
which is the 30th April options, they are very, very liquid. How much are you buying? Like if you're
I
buying
was
5
just
lakh, if you're
trying.
buying 5 lakh Nifty, it may be difficult for you. If you're buying 1000 Nifty and you tell me it is difficult, I have a problem.
No, sir. Like, what I did was like, the market is around 23,000, and told us to go 2 steps OTM, no? So I tried 22,800 foot, but that was for like 13th April and all. It said it was illiquid, and it was in the middle
Yeah,
of March
13th
when I
April is not monthly, no?
okay.
13th April is not monthly.
So I calculated based on like the middle of the month
Monthly
to
is 30th April.
okay. And so one
13th
more
of
thing,
April
like
will not be liquid. No, that's not the
okay.
way. So if you're in the middle of March, if you're on the 15th of March, you buy 30th of March only.
Okay, understood, sir. And sir, like the hourly thing, no, the hourly time frame that you have. So my thing was like the market goes on
Yeah,
for
go on.
375 minutes. So if you divide that by 75, so that is 5 candles because we lose 15 minutes of data each day. Like when the candle
Hmm.
closes at 3:15, we lose 15 minutes of data. So can we have a time frame where it says 75 minutes and then have 5 candles for the entire day? Just a
I never
suggestion.
look at 75-minute charts.
Okay.
See, multi time frames will be introduced. So far, we have introduced the standard time frames, which is 5, 10, 15. Now भी आप हाँ मतलब सी सजेशन क्या है ना कि you can come up with hundreds of your own things, but uh, what to do? So there may be a custom. I don't know if there's a custom option in Strike right now, but sometimes you can have a custom time frame option also. We are using the TradingView backend, so they do allow custom options.
Okay, so sir, let's move on towards the next question. Okay, यहाँ पे I can see Vineet Gupta. If you could ask your question, I'll just unmute you.
Very good morning, Rohit sir. Am I audible?
Yes, you are. Please ask with the question. You can.
Sir, I want to talk to you about RMI scanner.
Yeah.
So as you were just explaining that if we are doing intraday or swing trading, we have to look for intraday, we have to look for daily chart, and for execution, we have to look for hourly. So if
If
you're
no, not intraday, but that's like around a 5-day, 10-day time frame is what you do daily, hourly. If you are saying intraday, then you might have to really go to even lower time frames.
but
So lower time frames, then you will have to do it on the individual security because on the scanner, right now it is still hourly. I don't know which lower time frames they will introduce later. But if you come to an individual chart like Nifty, for example, you can have up to 5 minutes. So you can have a combination of maybe 30 and 5 or something like that. You have to try. I have not tried because I don't do intraday trading, but you'll have to do lower time frames than hourly and combine if you are really doing intraday trading.
because these days carrying a trade overnight is
No,
very
sure. So you figure
becoming
out the
very
intraday timeframes that work for you. Daily hourly is not for intraday. You'll use a combination of 30 minutes, 15 minutes, 5 minutes. Use any two timeframes and see what fits you best. And that will work for intraday.
sir. Okay, can we go back to your RMI scanner, sir? where
Yeah. Tell me.
Sir, as on your daily time frame, uh, it's showing sell, but on weekly it is showing buy, and monthly it is showing new buy.
Hmm.
So what this indicates, like if we are buying, if we want to invest for a long term, then the monthly is saying new buy, and we have to check weekly for the execution.
Yeah. So the higher time frame is always the view. See, here I have done a monthly, I've done a search. Now, this search is for monthly new buys only. I
Sir,
have put that over here that I only want monthly new buys. So the higher time frame is telling me that the monthly is giving me a new buy signal. Now, if I want to execute this new buy signal, I can use a lower time frame to execute it. But you see, when the monthly is giving a new buy, you may not immediately get a new buy on the daily. So you can always say that, buy some now and then buy more when you get a further buy signal. See, you have a lot of room to play around.
okay.
Like it's not that you're going to buy one share, then I can't help you. But even if you're buying 100, you can at least start with 20.
Yes, sir. Understood. I
So
got.
that kind of thinking has to come in our mind that I'll buy 20 now. Then if the daily gives me a buy signal, I'll buy more 20 because you're an investor. Yeah, so it doesn't matter. It's not option or future where I have to, leverage up everything all at once.
And sir, how about swing trading?
So for that, you use daily weekly combination is good for that.
Okay. So, daily and weekly.
Yeah,
So when the weekly shows new buy, then I can go to the daily and look for the execution,
yeah.
like as you said.
But for swing,
But
as you say,
yes,
swing, now try to use the swing indicators also. They will help you in timing a little more faster along with RMI. Once you learn to use swing along with RMI, you will get even more accurate results.
understood, sir. So, like your momentum swing indicator, why don't now it's only for Nifty and Bank Nifty and indices.
Hmm.
So not possible to introduce for stocks also?
I just told you the formula. It includes 300 stocks to calculate the swing. How
Ah,
can I calculate it for a stock? It's a market-wide indicator, na?
understood. Okay, sir. Got it. Fine,
All
sir.
sentiment and diffusion indicators are like that. They try to judge the market first. For
Okay.
individual stocks, you have to do FNO analysis. I showed some analysis on Reliance, like the futures open interest. That is what we have to do when it comes to individual stocks.
Understood, sir. Okay, sir.
Oh,
My question is over. Thank you so much, sir, for your time.
Thank you. Thank you.
okay, let's move on towards a few questions. We'll be just taking two or three questions more. Ashish Sharma, sir, if you could also ask your question. Okay, let's move ahead then. I can see there are many more questions. Manoj Tiwari, sir, if you could also ask your question.
Hello. Hello, Sakshi.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Yes,
Okay.
yes, sir, you're audible.
Yeah. Yeah. Good morning, Rohit. Good morning, Sakshi. Just
Good morning.
one thing. Just one thing, Rohit. Tomorrow is 30th. I
Hmm.
just want to know about the buy signal confirmation. So that is
Hmm.
30th because the 31st is holiday. So 30th is 3:15. After 3:15, we can
Yeah.
confirmly say this is a monthly buy, right?
Correct.
Right, right. Thank you. And I'm the subscriber for last many years. 2 years back, I have purchased it for 1,500 rupees in holy offer. So thanks, thanks for that. And in this
Lovely.
market, what we explained, the market is falling. And coupled with ICS, I am also the member. I made money in call options also in both stocks and Nifty only because of this platform coupled with IC. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. That's lovely.
Thank you so much, sir. Moving ahead towards the next question. Deepthi P, if you could also ask your question. I have unmuted you.
Thank you. Good morning, sir. So I have a doubt. Like in the sentiment indicator, Nifty is showing like it's going down. We need to take puts. But in the Rohit indicator, it is showing like a new buy, sir. So how do we interpret that?
The Rohit indicator is on daily chart.
Yeah, you
Oh,
will
those,
give.
but that's a different strategy, and this is a different strategy. Here, I've just told you to look at weekly plus swing. I
Okay.
didn't tell you to look at daily RMI that you are looking. I didn't tell you to look.
Okay, we need to look the weekly. Okay, sir.
Yeah. So that is for this particular. Now, let's say you did end up looking at it.
Yeah.
Okay. Then what would you do? Because it is the daily and the weekly are not matching each other.
Yeah.
So when I tell people is that if you're taking a trade on this buy signal on the daily, which doesn't match with the weekly, please do a much smaller quantity, less than 30% of what you would usually do.
Okay, sir.
That's the simple answer. Because you don't want to take too much risk in a counter trend signal. It can go wrong, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So the other thing, like if the weekly is in the sell signal, so after a
Hmm.
few days of buying only, then only the weekly will turn into green or something.
Absolutely. So you will not may or may not catch the bottom. There's always a risk
So to wait
of
weekly gets
yeah.
buy also. Okay, sir.
Yeah. Now sometimes you can get lucky. Like here, see what happened. The weekly gave a buy and then the market made a new low.
Yes, sir.
And here the weekly gave a sell before the high. This is just luck. It doesn't always happen. Like here and here, we were lucky that the signal came before the high or low, just around there. But in most occasions, you are correct. Like this sell signal here on the weekly came after it fell for a week. Okay. So yes, there you could not have, if you followed this formula, you would not have exactly gotten it there. There, what helps sometimes is that purely on the swing. See, you just now you mentioned na ki daily buy mein hai. What I do na is that purely on the swing, if the swing is very oversold, or if there is a divergence in the swing, we try to take a small position on the swing down here.
Okay.
Sometimes it works out.
Okay.
But again, because it is counter trend, we cannot take, like, say, for example, at this top, there was no high swing reading to really take a shot.
Yes, sir. Okay, sir.
So this formula works, but yeah, it's not meant for every peak and trough. Most of them you will get, but the ones you are getting are working. So the point only is that you can get a high probability of something which works.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
If your objective becomes मुझे हर top and bottom काटना है, then I will tell you, please come and learn Elliott wave analysis.
Yeah.
I have given a formula where without doing Elliott waves, you can actually trade the market.
Yes. Yeah. So I've been with the strike from the past 1 year, sir. So today I've taken the Indian charts also. So to be with you, sir, because I really like your learnings. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for the
Thank
clarity.
you. Thank you. Welcome on board. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Moving ahead towards last questions. Konika Kepiria, if you could also ask your question.
Hello. Hello.
Yes, we can hear you.
Hello.
Hello. Yeah.
Good morning, sir. I just wanted to ask, do you use RMI in conjunction? Hi. Do you use RMI in conjunction with demand and supply levels also, or can it be used completely independently?
So there's nothing that you can't do, but the particular strategy I am explaining is meant for trading Nifty options, where we are using one type of combination, which is the weekly RMI with the daily swing. But that doesn't mean you can't do something else. I mean, you can. There are many things we
Okay.
can
And if I
always
have to
come up with
scale
new
when I'm buying
strategies. That's
options,
no issue with that.
okay. Okay, thank you. And if I am to scale when I'm buying options, that would naturally be, I would be doing some sort of spread, right? If you're saying monthly options.
So see, I don't do those spread strategies where you buy a call and sell a call. Okay. And the reason I don't do that is I don't want to limit my upside. Say, for example, in this month, the market is crashing. Okay. So if I buy puts and then I sell puts to reduce the cost, a lot of people do this. At the money put le liya, out of the money put bech diya.
Yeah.
Limited my downside. Market is crashing. I could have made 3,000 points. I make only 1,000 or 500. What is the point? So I don't believe.
Exactly. That is my quandary.
I don't do that. I don't do non-directional. So the reason of coming up with a strategy to pick tops or bottoms is so that you can get directional.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Last question we'll be taking Akhil Mittal, sir, if you could just ask your question.
Thank you, ma'am. Sir, good morning. I have been since 2 years from with you. But I want to know for the option strategy on the current high VIX scenario. We can buy option or we can sell option at this time because VIX is very high, 26, 28 right now.
Your question helps me answer something that I didn't answer earlier, and which is that which strike do we buy or sell? Okay, and then it comes to, does VIX really matter? So on which strike, okay, for those who didn't ask and I didn't answer it earlier, is usually at the money or you don't go very out of the money, not more than 1% out of the money. Okay, so if you're at 25,000, 1% is 250 points. So that's around 2 strikes, maximum 3 strikes. Because what happens in 2, 3 strikes is your delta will probably fall from 0.5 to 0.35 or something like that. I usually say don't buy a delta which is less than 0.35 because moment you go deep out of the money, the delta will become 0.25. 0.25 simply means that 25% chance only of that strike going in the money. Okay, so when you think of selling options, you sell options where the delta is less than 0.25, which means it is slightly out of the money and where the chances of it falling or rising that much is very low. But when you're buying options, you want to buy closer to at the money, which is 0.5 to 0.35 range, so that you're not too far out of the money. Now, this is the choice of strike. I've already mentioned that we should do monthly for buying. Now, the next question becomes, does the premium matter? The answer
Yes.
is, does the VIX matter? The answer is, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
Because even if I buy today, when the market is very, very hard, the bounce backs are also very, very hard. As we saw in April down back here, okay, it fell hard and then it bounced hard. So here, when it is continuously falling, even these small bounces are very sharp. So when these
Yeah.
very sharp bounces are happening, even if you buy at 25 weeks, you will still, the price of the option, call option will go up. The only other caveat I'm adding is that because the trend is down, buy a smaller quantity. That takes care of the risky. If the price remains at the same level and the premium will come down. Or if the VIX falls, then I don't make any money. Does that happen? Yes, it does happen. In the first rally post-COVID, my positioning was very, very low. Why? Because the premiums were very high. Like you had to pay 700, 800,000 rupees for a call option down here because the crash had taken VIX to 90.
Okay.
But so it can happen that in an initial bounce, you don't see the value of the option going up too much. But because the bounce is sharp, it still does rise even though VIX is falling. So therefore, I have never ever thought ki VIX a reason to not buy call or not buy put. It's more about getting the timing right. If you get the timing right, then the VIX does not matter. But should you
Right.
sell options now? You yourself know that in this volatile market, कल सुबह gap down हो गया तो writer तो मर गया. So
जी.
on what basis do I say that you should be writer or buyer? I have not been a writer in 30 years.
Right.
So maybe I'm the wrong person to tell you how to write. But for people who write, I say sell out of the money, less than 0.25 delta, and sell based on RMI. So if the RMI is bullish, sell puts. If the RMI is bearish, then sell calls. Don't try to do
Yeah.
the opposite. So again, there is a view involved because if you are don't have a view, then what will happen? थोड़ा call बेच दो, थोड़ा put बेच दो, किस तरफ मरेंगे पता नहीं. That's not a strategy. So you need to have a view. In my view, in my world, everything is view based. Don't know how to take a view? Come and learn. You can take a view. Anybody who tells you can't take a market view कुछ नहीं होता है, भाड़ में जाओ. आपको आता नहीं है इसलिए बोल रहे हो. मुझे तो
जी.
आता है. मैं 30 साल से कर रहा हूँ. तो मैं तो मानूंगा ही नहीं ये बात. तो व्यू लेना बहुत जरूरी है. Even if you're a writer, taking a view whether the market is going up and then selling puts, yes, that's possible. But a better strategy is to sell in a weak market like this is buy stocks and do covered calls.
Yes.
So at least you know कि stock भी underlying उसके सामने मैं call बेच रहा हूँ.
जी.
I hope that answers your
Right.
question.
Right. Thank you, sir. And sir, one more question. Actually, when the app is coming out, basically, I'm just waiting because we are
So
working for.
the work is done. There's more than a month is gone in all kinds of testing because we don't want to launch it and then have problems of
Yeah.
any issue. So that testing part is becoming a longer and longer thing. Otherwise, it
Okay.
should have been out long ago. So I can't put a timeline on it. The team is trying to bring it out as soon as possible.
Okay.
Most of the 90% of the work is done. It's just the testing part which is keeping it.
Right. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
It's a great platform, sir. It's a great platform.
Thank you
Thanks.
so much, sir. So I think we have taken a lot of questions, sir, over here. I have a few questions coming about the offer as well. So I'll just once again share my screen first, and maybe if Rohit sir permits, then only we'll take two last questions at the end.
Sure.
Yes, okay. So I'll just share my screen. So whoever did not get a chance to maybe have a look at the offer, so this is the particular offer that we have. You get एवरीथिंग अंडर वन रूफ एंड अभी सर ने जस्ट कहा अगर आप मार्केट का व्यू नहीं बना सकते हो देन दिस इज द राइट टाइम कम एंड लर्न एंड दिस इज व्हाट यू विल गेट ओवर हियर. So it is an access to Insiders Club research, advisory plus strike analytics in one powerful combination. Expert stock ideas you get backed by advanced analytics and markets tools as well. So you'll get to learn as well as you are getting to learn it, and almost this is a subsidized and free, almost free we can call it, rates. So currently I'm sharing the screen, but I'll also paste a link in the chat box as well. So whoever did not get a chance can surely right now scan the QR code. Okay, moving ahead. So right now, I'll also share the link in the chat box. If anyone who cannot scan the QR code, surely can go over there and also contact us. Okay. I can see we have almost around 17 people who want to ask questions, but there will be only 2 questions that we'll be taking. So Rahit, sir, if you could also ask your question, I will just unmute you.
Hello, Rohit.
Hello.
First, after every session of yours, I believe I'm in the right direction. The way I'm aligning myself, and sometime you point out something, it's very different from the last session, and I realized, okay, I'm also looking at this direction. Like, I am okay, right? Because I also buy puts and calls based on the direction, and at times I hear कि बस क्या कर रहा है, नेकेड कर रहा है, तो मैंने कहा मैं डायरेक्शन में उसके अगेंस्ट जाएगा तो बहुत छोटा स्टॉप लॉस है मेरा.
Yeah.
Because at 23,460, when price was going up in Nifty, it was hitting a trend line of, it was 4 hourly trend line, it was hourly trend line. So in a smaller time frame, it shows the reversal sign. So I was ready for that. मैंने कहा कि अब ठोकेंगे इसको. तो मैंने कहा चलो देखते हैं आपका सेंटिमेंट इंडिकेटर क्या कह रहा है, स्विंग वाला.
Yeah.
ये तो 80 प्लस है भाई, बराबर है. So I took my short positions again, which I left in the last drop, and I came back again. So it went perfectly fine. Now my question is, it is something which I'm hearing from other people, like Nifty P is touching almost 20. You also showed that many stocks have touched the bottom, which are below 20 or 50 MA. So, but my belief that, okay, if this is the C wave of Nifty, it can go to the last bottom also of 22. But here I am getting conflicting views, like P is touching 20, stocks have, are in oversold zone. A bounce may come, but the target of C is telling me that, okay, last 22, year 22 का bottom भी आ सकता है. And if this is the fourth wave of weekly, point 3, which is 19,000, can also come. तो जब ये, I understand कि we are at the bottom, जिसने ऊपर से शॉर्ट किया वो मलाई खा गया. अब ये जो लास्ट मिनट में जो कॉन्फ्लिक्ट जोन आते हैं, हाउ टू डील विद इट?
No, so one thing that you have seen me do in the last month or two is a strategy that I started implementing last year is having hedged long and hedged short with a 1:3 spread, right? So we did that last month ki itna put or itna call. Now try to do that similar strategy in the opposite direction, that if you are bullish but you still have the fear it can go down, you be long with short.
Got it. ठीक है.
That is the only way, because we can't have the 100% answer, but we have some answer.
Right.
And to deal with that, that's the only way we can deal with it.
And what about this sort of P ratio of Nifty touching 20? Does it has any relevance in the from the past, or it?
It does. I'll just show my screen. So if you look at Nifty 50 and you look at the valuation chart, okay, we take a 5-year valuation. See, in the 5-year valuation, it has been in this range, right?
Right.
So when we've been in this range, the bottom end of this range was around back here was around just here close to 19, 18.
Right,
That's
19.
where it has always just hit and stopped. 18 here, around 19.97 here, around 20 something here. In COVID, it had gone to 17 something.
Right,
So, so basically, after COVID, we have really not gone down below the 17, 18 threshold. And 20 is the line at which we are continuously hitting in the current cycle. So if we just
right,
draw a line from here, this is the lowest point, and this is where we are sort of coming now. So because we are coming here, we are saying, okay, this is where it was in 23, this is where it was last year, and we are again here.
right,
So will this work or will it go all the through this? So this is the difference between bull and bear market. Now, will it come back from this 20 threshold, which is holding since COVID,
right.
or will we break this threshold? That's the question.
Hmm.
It doesn't have a perfect answer. We have to take the risk and come to know.
Okay, we have to be just cautious around this place.
Around this cautious, or you start investing, and if it
And
starts going up, then you increase your exposure. That is how I think about it.
okay, okay. ठीक है, thank you.
Okay, moving on.
Now,
Only one.
one last thing.
Okay.
It's regarding the strike platform. Right now, when I open a list, matlab, I have told this many times to your team. Every time I open a list, I have to use my mouse to go from one stock to another rather than using arrow buttons on the keyboard.
Okay, that one.
It
Nice. That's
it
there. It's there in some platforms. We'll see if we can do that.
okay,
Yeah.
okay. Thank you.
Yeah. I know that easy. You just want to do next,
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
see all the
It makes
charts.
scanning really fast.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, perfect. Last question, Anurag G AJ. If you could ask your question, I'll just unmute.
Yeah, good morning, sir. Sir,
Morning.
related to RMI scanner, is there any option to download the list so that we can track them in TradingView? Then once we have scanned it, maybe at the end of the week, and then download it and track it outside. Is it
So
possible?
is there an export function? There is an export Excel, export XCSV function. Now you'll have to export it and then import it into your trading view.
Okay, from where did you got this option? I was searching, I didn't got it.
Go to ABV, right click.
Okay.
Just click on right click on the stock itself. Don't click on these things. This is
Okay.
for our watch list. If you want to save it to our watch list, you click here. But if you just right click on this, there's an export option.
Okay. Oh, okay. And one more thing for related to that option setup where we see weekly RMI and then the daily sentiment.
Hmm.
Does that combination work on weekly, daily, or is it there is an option to work it on daily, hourly also, or something of that kind? No.
So we have introduced an hourly swing. I have not tested it to tell you that, yeah, go ahead and do that.
Okay.
See, I have traded on the weekly plus daily swing myself for more than a year, so I can tell you कि हाँ ये करो. दूसरा तो मैंने किया ही नहीं है, तो मैं कैसे बोलूं? आप ट्राई कर सकते हो आप at your risk.
No, the only reason I asked is that these days market is very volatile. 1,000 up one day, 1,000 down next day.
Yeah.
So that
I know,
was the
but see, now I'll just show you. This is the daily swing. Okay. Now, moment I go to hourly swing, it's much erratic. Okay, so you have to have a see your time mental time frame भी अपना होना चाहिए इंट्राडे करने का. आपका है तो आप कर पाओगे. मेरा एक्चुअली इंट्राडे टाइम फ्रेम नहीं है, तो मैं ये नहीं सोचता हूँ कि यहाँ स्विंग बिल्कुल नीचे आए, यहाँ पे कॉल ले लो. व्हाट यू आर ट्राइंग टू से वेरी शॉर्ट टर्म. It may work. I have not tested it. Visually, it's here. It is looking like working. I don't know what are the nuances. You'll have to try it and see it may be workable.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Yeah, that's all. Thank you.
Yeah.
So I think, sir, we have taken a lot of questions as well, and there are a lot of questions coming over here. I can still see them but right now we'll have to conclude this particular session. Thank you so much, sir, for addressing everyone. And I think I can surely see there are a lot of people who still have questions, but you can put all these questions in the comment section. This video is going to be there on YouTube channel. You can watch it whenever you get time on Strike platform, Strike Money. I have pasted the link in the comment section as well. And anyone who has any doubts can address it. I'm right now addressing all the doubts that you have in the comment section. But if you have any doubt at the end, you can just put it in my chat box as well. So thank you so much, sir, for addressing so many questions and taking people through the how to navigate. And the best part that I loved from this webinar is, yes, you can navigate the markets if you are ready to learn. So if you all of you are ready to learn, there is a link that I have posted. Click on that link and make sure that you subscribe as well. And this is like a combination offer. You get strike plus India charts all for 6 months, and I think this is a win-win situation for everyone. So make sure you surely click on that link and subscribe as well. Thank you so much, sir. And at the end, I think I'll be just addressing if there are
वीट कहीं
any.
भी हो जाएगी
I think
कहीं हो जाएगी
okay, we'll be just addressing the questions at the end if there are any on the offer. I'll just share my screen at the end. Anyone who did not get a chance maybe can now scan the QR code. It is almost at a free cost, but it is captioned at 9,999. It is 6 months insider club plus strike analytics as well, strike money as well. So if you want to learn and get your hands on everything that all the other tools as well, all the other analytics tools, you can surely subscribe over here. So I'll just keep it over here, and in the chat box also there is a link I've already pasted. So you can click on that link as well. Also, there were a few questions regarding if you already have a strike, subscription and you only want India charts. I have also shared a support number in the chat box. So you can also contact the support members as well, and they'll also guide you for this. Okay, perfect. So I'll stop my screen share, and hopefully everyone has who wants to subscribe has gotten the chance. And yes, thank you so much, sir, for addressing such a wonderful webinar. Thank you so much, sir. Oh yes, there are a few comments I can see. Sorry, sir. Sorry, you were saying something.
No, I'm saying pleasure to do it and to have so many people join us. And we will be doing it again. So you can continue to participate in these sessions and spread the word. Let everybody who's trading know that they can come and learn these tools in our Sunday webinars. Thank you.
Absolutely. Yes, I think there is. Okay, I am sharing the support number over here. Once again, for everyone who has any doubt, you can surely contact the support team. Also, the webinar is going to be live. The previous webinar that we did on 15th March is also there. You can just go to Strike Money YouTube channel and watch it. It is also available on all the other social media platforms as well. So maybe if you have any other doubt, you can put it into the comment section of the video and we'll surely be addressing it over there as well. Okay. Okay, so we can end this webinar over here. Thank you so much, sir. Once again, it was amazing to learn from you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, everyone.